Hello. Ahoy. Dobry dan. Viteta. Welcome to ISHLT 2024, the 44th annual meeting of the International Society for Heart and Lung Transplantation here in the historic city of Prague. It is an honor to address this diverse and dedicated gathering, united by our common goal of improving the lives of patients with advanced heart and lung diseases. Our mission is a global one, transcending borders and uniting disciplines as we strive to advance care and improve outcomes for patients of all ages around the world. We are entrusted with the care of some of the most vulnerable patients whose lives are profoundly impacted by the advancements we make in our fields. It is this deep connection to our patients that fuels our passion and drives our commitment to excellence in research, clinical practice, and education. This meeting is a testament to the power of collaboration and the importance of an international multidisciplinary approach. We share knowledge, experiences, and perspectives. This diversity of experience is our strength, enabling us to tackle the complex challenges and uncertainty we face on a daily basis in the care of our patients. As Joran just explained, this year's meeting is an example of these great strengths, highlighting our global impact and our bright future. This year, we had more abstracts submitted than any ISHLT annual meeting since 2014. Yesterday's pre-meeting day included a consensus conference on heart primary graft dysfunction, chaired by John Kabashigawa and Andreas Zuckerman. There was an academy on core competencies in pediatrics, jointly presented with the Pediatric Heart Transplant Society, master's academies in mechanical circulatory support, heart failure and transplantation, and a diversity, equity, and inclusion workshop on transforming transplantation and building paths to equitable care and outcomes, which was fully subscribed with a waiting list. As we engage in sessions, discussions, presentations, and collaborations over the next few days, let us remain focused on the ultimate goal of our work, to enhance the lives of our patients. Let this meeting be a source of inspiration, motivation, and renewed commitment to our shared global mission. We apologize for the overlap with Eid al-Fitr, as we overlapped last year. We are a global welcoming organization, and we are also a learning organization. These dates were scheduled long ago, and this is the last time that this will happen. For those who are celebrating, Eid Mubarak. I'd like to start with my patient, Michael Marinelli, who recently celebrated his 30-year lung transplant anniversary. I met Michael when I was on the inpatient ICU service as a trainee and was inspired by his resilience and good humor and how this new technology of lung transplantation could transform his life. But Michael had a rough time early on. His first transplant in 1993 was a single lung transplant for severe pulmonary hypertension, and he developed severe primary graft dysfunction. He never gained independence and so underwent a second contralateral single transplant in 1994, in which he also developed severe PGD. I was inspired to ask, why did this happen? In 1994, the North American European Consensus definition of ARDS was published. I saw this as a catalyst to guide us to study the unique form of lung injury, primary graft dysfunction, in our transplant patients. But I realized early on that I needed to work with others, following the proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We formed a group of investigators called the Lung Transplant Outcomes Group, and we and others embarked on early clinical studies. But we soon realized we didn't know what we were studying. We had different terms: primary graft failure, early allograft failure, early allograft dysfunction, etc. This is where the society came in. Our group presented some findings in 2003 in Vienna, and then at the Pulmonary Council meeting, our community discussed the need for a consensus definition. I was asked to lead it along with Dirk van Rijmdonk of Leuven. Together, we led an international group of over 70 volunteers that reviewed the state of the art, proposed a consensus definition, and set the agenda for future research. Armed with this definition, we and others around the world validated and refined the definition, defined the major risk factors for PGD, uncovered dominant biological mechanisms in human translational studies, and developed novel technologies. Most notably, the ISHLT consensus definition was used in the landmark paper from the Toronto group proving the benefit of EBLP. As practice changed, including more use of ECMO bridging and salvage, we realized that we needed to revisit the PGD definition due to these changes in practice. This consensus effort spurred new research that helped expand the donor pool, was used in the pivotal INSPIRE trial published in 2018 in Lancet Respiratory Medicine, and is a major outcome in other ongoing lung preservation studies. Now, in 2024, as novel lung injury molecular monitoring expands, as syndrome endotyping efforts proliferate, as organ preservation methods advance, as greater opportunities for pre-treating donor organs exist, and as use of extracorporeal support technologies continues to evolve, I believe there's need for our community to come together again in consensus. My story with lung PGD highlights the amazing core values and strengths of this society. I see this as an example of many things that the society does well. I was welcomed as an early career professional to a substantial yet supported leadership role. We formed a multidisciplinary group that put aside differences for a shared purpose and acted as a team. We formed an international group that considered issues with a global lens, and together we set a course directing where the field should go. We are truly a learning organization that does not stand still and looks to how we can help others in the future through partnerships and action. Our focus has been on building bridges and collaborations, as well as investing in the value of membership and the programs ISHLT delivers to members and non-members. We are removing barriers to participation, using data to evaluate and develop programs, and building a durable and sustainable organization. To achieve this, we collaborate with other organizations around the world, as we have this past year with organizations including joint programs with the many member organizations on this slide. I would particularly like to highlight a special full-day virtual meeting this July with the International Transplant Nurses Society, participation on a normothermic regional perfusion consensus document with the American Society of Transplant Surgeons, and research funding with Enduring Hearts. Thank you to our partner organizations and to the many ISHLT members who make this possible through their connections with these communities. Another key area for investment is you. Over the past year, we have asked how we can create better resources for members and programs that advance our mission and add value. This year, we announced the ISHLT Strategic Investment Fund. This program has been fostered by our outgoing treasurer, Martin Goddard. It's a big giant Martin head in the left corner there. Thank you, Martin. This program sets aside a portion of the ISHLT reserve funds to be invested directly into ISHLT programs proposed by ISHLT members. The programs must add value to ISHLT membership or otherwise make an impact on the field. Information on this program will be sent to all ISHLT members next month. We look forward to your ideas and creativity. Thank you to Martin for the vision and fiscal discipline that has made this possible. ISHLT committees are highly effective. I would like to take a moment to spotlight and commend the work of the Advocacy Committee this past year, which provides expertise drawn from ISHLT's membership to inform and advance access to care and good policy, and to respond to issues that threaten our practice and patients. Similarly, our Ethics Committee has the challenge of separating facts from emotion, ensuring that patients, families, and organ donors are respected, and that research presented in the ISHLT publications and educational events, such as this annual meeting, complies with our high ethical standards. Thank you to the leaders and members of our committees for their hard work and dedication in protecting and projecting the core values of our society. ISHLT en Español has produced popular webinars and educational programs, creating an entirely new point of entry of engagement for ISHLT. Now, ISHLT en Español has a structure that formalizes our commitment to the Spanish-speaking community around the world. ISHLT en Español has taught us how different things are when groups come together and speak in the comfort of a native language. The success of their efforts has removed barriers to expanding the society to nations with developing programs, a core mission of our society. We see this program as a vanguard for future efforts using native languages. Thank you to Martha Ferrero for her hard work, and welcome Paola Morejan Barragan and Maria Crespo, who will lead the next phases of this growing effort. The Standards and Guidelines Committee ensures that ISHLT practice guidelines are trusted, incorporate multidisciplinary perspectives, and represent the highest standards of excellence. Here's a list of the documents developed since the 2023 annual meeting in Denver. Please scan the QR code to have a look. There are currently 16 documents in various phases of development. The importance of these efforts to our society cannot be overstated. Special thank you to our outgoing S&G Chair, Patricia Ging, and welcome incoming Chair, Cern Lim. The success of these documents has led to a growing work burden on our volunteers. We are responding by growing our S&G infrastructure to improve processes, methodology, transparency, and efficiency. Thank you to our oversight committees, which are responsible for policy and integration of the Society's work in education, research, and publications. Special thanks to my friend, outgoing Publications Oversight Committee Chair Andy Fisher, who has had quite the busy year, and welcome incoming Chair Mike Schulo. It's been an active year for ISHLT's registries. I would like to thank International Thoracic Transplant Medical Director Rebecca Cogswell and IMAX Medical Director Danny Goldstein for their important work and extra efforts this year as we relaunch the registries to serve the field and ensure compliance with international data privacy best practices. This is a tremendous year for the registries. Stay tuned. The ISHLT Foundation funds research to improve patient care and access in advanced heart and lung disease, as well as programs that develop the next generation of researchers and clinicians around the world. By the end of 2024, the ISHLT Foundation will have funded more than $1 million in research grants and travel scholarships since its launch 2 years ago. This is a huge win for the Society as we transitioned funding of grants and scholarships from the annual operating budget to being more properly aligned with Foundation efforts. Thank you to Foundation Chair Jim Kirkland and the Foundation Board of Trustees for the energy and stewardship. The future is bright for grants and other awards thanks to your generosity. ISHLT's strength is its members, including many who have made their professional home for their careers. Thank you to the many generous ISHLT members that have given to this initiative. Please help support this important work and consider a donation. I will leave this slide up for a moment for those who want to screenshot the QR code. Otherwise, it's posted in a bunch of different places around the conference. Thank you to the industry partners who made generous gifts to the Foundation campaign in this past year, funding research grants and new initiatives. ISHLT grants now have 2 cycles to accommodate these expanded programs, with new grants opening in May and November of each year. Special thanks to outgoing Grants and Awards Chair Kathy Grady, and welcome our incoming Chair, Teresa Martineau. The interdisciplinary networks are the engine of creativity for the Society. They are structured to pull together the professional communities to facilitate multidisciplinary development of content and to ensure that everyone has a seat at the table in our major themes of heart and lung transplantation, MCS, and pulmonary vascular disease. Thank you to the 2023-2024 chairs of the Interdisciplinary Network Steering Committees shown on this slide. It has been a great year of creativity and content. The professional communities serve as a nurturing home within professional disciplines. Professional communities foster mentorship and also generate specific content targeted within disciplines, as well as work within the IDNs for broader content. Thank you to all of the professional community leaders who served as chairs in their communities this past year. I would like to extend our appreciation to all of those who've dedicated their time and expertise to our organization and to the broader mission that we serve. I want to specifically recognize the representatives from our professional communities who are completing terms of service on the interdisciplinary network steering committees shown on this slide. As professional community leaders, they help activate their professional communities and serve as a conduit to our 4 IDN steering committees, Heart, Lung, MCS, and PVD. ISHLT is a multi-generational community. When people begin to participate early in their careers, they stay involved within the society and make our organization stronger. Nearly a quarter of ISHLT members have identified as early career. My own career has been inextricably intertwined with ISHLT, fostered by the welcoming nature of the society during my early career. I am proud that this tradition has flourished. Thanks to the Early Career and Trainee Committee for engaging this important and growing group of our membership. More than 25% of ISHLT members participate on ISHLT boards, committees, task forces, and working groups, including more than 900 people who helped review the annual meeting abstracts this year, a tremendous effort. Thank you to all volunteers for your dedication to the ISHLT as you help build an enduring future for the society, especially those committee members and chairs who will complete their terms this year. The Governance Committee is charged with oversight of the structures, processes, and people that govern our society. My gratitude to this year's Governance Committee, which has worked to ensure that we develop and promote capable leaders who represent the diversity of the society. This past year, we formed a membership task force to evaluate the value that ISHLT brings to its members. The initiative to restructure dues exceeded expectations. As a result, we have seen an increase in membership from middle and low-level economy countries. That, in turn, has led to greater participation at this meeting. We have also seen non-physician membership increase by 29%. This year, we will pilot an ambassador program to provide a structure for engaging with more care team members within individual centers. Thank you to Ed Cantu and the membership task force. The ways that a society recognizes excellence can affirm its core values and spotlight individuals who exemplify our shared aspirations. This past year, Past President Jeff Teuteberg led a task force to update the policies and procedures around our major recognition awards. They evaluated our Lifetime Achievement and Distinguished Service Awards. The criteria and selection processes will now be transparent and consistent. Our next task will be to evaluate and develop newer awards within ISHLT for greater recognition. Stay tuned. ISHLT has made a commitment to diversity throughout the organization. As a multidisciplinary international organization, the term diversity has a broad meaning and touches all areas of ISHLT programming. In 2023, the Society constituted a task force chaired by 2022 Lifetime Achievement Award winner Hannah Valentine to present a plan to the board, who have approved a forward-looking plan with implementation to begin later this year. We thank Dr. Valentine and the committee for this crucial effort. 2023 was a year of transition for our flagship journal, JHLT. Daniel Goldstein stepped down as editor to focus on his personal health. If you have not read his statement as he stepped away, I encourage you to do so. It is inspiring. Thank you to Daniel for his years of steadfast, judicious, and visionary leadership. Michelle Kittelson has served as interim editor-in-chief for JHLT since July 2023. Her extraordinary energy and commitment have brought new energy and ideas. She has generously agreed to stay on through June, when a new editor assumes the role for a full term. Thank you, Michelle, for all that you have done and continue to do to stabilize and enhance JHLT. You are truly a force to be reckoned with. Dirk van Rijmdijk is the inaugural editor-in-chief of JHLT Open, ISHLT's official open access journal, which launched in 2023 to complement our flagship journal and provide new opportunities for members to publish. Please consider submitting your studies. Thanks to Dirk as well and his editorial board, as well as Deputy Editor Howie Eisen. Thank you to the people who have played a major role in building this organization, the past presidents. Most of our past presidents are here at this meeting. Their love for ISHLT continues. Past presidents, please stand and be acknowledged. I know of no other organization with such involvement of past leaders. I have benefited from each and every one of you. Thank you. Now I want to talk about some of the things that are happening at ISHLT looking ahead. I'm excited to say that ISHLT will continue to invest in programs that add value, advance mission, and prepare the society for the future. New task forces are looking at how our annual meeting should evolve and how patients should be engaged within ISHLT. We also have task forces focused on normothermic regional perfusion, engaging and developing CTEF within ISHLT, and yesterday, the Board of Directors approved a task force to focus on pediatric to adult transition. The goal of these efforts is to constantly evolve the society to meet the needs of our members and address key topics in our fields as they evolve. Finally, I want to acknowledge all of the work that goes into making this meeting possible. Thank you again to the 2024 Program Committee for their hard work during this past year. I participated in many virtual meetings such as this one, and the results of their labors speak for themselves in the outstanding program. Thanks to Joran Dahlgren for all of his work making sure that Prague is always a good idea. Joran, please stand and be recognized so that we can share our appreciation. And I'm surprising Joran with a plaque commemorating his role as program chair. Thank you. I think we have to get our picture taken. Well done. Good job. Thank you to our industry supporters who help make this meeting possible and allow us to fund scholarships and other programs that make the meeting accessible to as many people as possible. Please join me in a round of applause for these supporters. I encourage you to visit our exhibitors just outside this room in the foyer on the second floor. The annual business meeting will take place virtually on April 24th, and ISHLT terms will transition on May 1st. I want to thank the outgoing board members who have served with me and welcome incoming president and of the Board of Directors, Christian Benden. A special thank you to Andreas Zuckerman, who completes his term as past president, and to Martin Goddard, who completes his term as treasurer. Thank you. I cannot say enough about ISHLT staff. Please recognize our CEO, Greg Schultz, and the wonderful ISHLT staff. The skills of each of these professionals are exceptional. We are so fortunate to have such spectacularly talented and committed staff. Each year, I am more amazed by the gifts that this group brings to the society. On a personal note, I am so grateful for each of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There are many people who have supported my career. I'd like to start by thanking my parents. My father was a juvenile type 1 diabetic diagnosed in the 1950s. He was told he would not live past age 30. Yet, he received a kidney transplant in 1985 and a kidney pancreas in 1993, which gave him 23 years of full life before he died in 2016 at age 71. Through his life, I felt the indelible impression that transplantation can make on a family, the impact of medical innovation, and I witnessed the dedication of a team of nephrologists, surgeons, nurses, coordinators, pharmacists, infectious disease experts, and others doing the big and little things to make patients' lives better. Thanks to my mom and sister Kim, who are on the left, well, your right-hand side of the picture, who have always supported me through thick and thin times. To my son Colin and daughter Grace, I am so proud of the adults you become. You continue to amaze and inspire me with each year of your growth. I cannot wait to see what is next, including my son's recent engagement to his fiancée Lorenza, who is also here. It is wonderful to find someone that gets him and gets us. We look forward to the wedding in Rio next year. To my wife, Patricia, I'm going to get through this. My soulmate, my best friend, my daily source of humor and love, thank you for putting up with me. Without you, nothing would be possible. I love you all very much, and thank you for your endless support. Well, I got through that one, Sue. I have had the privilege of working with many talented people in my academic career. First of all, thanks to Rob Kotloff for steering me to lung transplant and to PGD, and to Vivek Iyer for being the best partner I could ever ask for from the beginning. Thanks to all of the lung transplant outcomes group, investigators, coordinators, and research staff for over 20 years. Your hard work, dreaming up new ideas, and grinding through the details has led to so many impactful research projects. I'm honored to work with you. Special shout outs to Scott Palmer, John Singer, Lorraine Ware, Wayne Hancock, Ron Coleman, John McDyer, Steve Kawit, John Greenland, and other PIs with whom I've written grants, and to the NHLBI and Cystic Fibrosis Foundation for funding them, specifically to Matt Craig and Al Farrow for having such vision. I must acknowledge Michelle Oyster and Laurel Kalman, who are pictured here, and Katie Manrique and Josh Dedrick, who are not. Thank you for your consistency, competency, and reliability. And to all of the research staff over the years who have contributed, especially Ejigayahu E.J. Demisi, who was there at the start. I have had the privilege of mentoring talented people, many of whom I now count as colleagues. Specific shout-outs to Josh Diamond, Ed Cantu, Michael Shishadi, Michaela Anderson, Rupal Shah, Andrew Courtwright, Emily Clausen, Brittany Coons, and now Krishna Pandya for leaning into this shared work and being as inspired by the research as I am. I must also acknowledge my other family, the Penn Lung Transplant team. Our surgeons, nurses, coordinators, pharmacists, social workers, physical and speech therapists are amazing, purpose-driven colleagues who always put the patients first. You all inspire me every day. Special shout out to Maria Crespo and Christian Bermudez pictured here, and to Jim Mendez, Jackie Galato, Colleen Gerlach, and Tracy Hunger, who have been my closest partners in caring for patients such as Michael Marinelli over the years. Speaking of our patient, Michael Marinelli, he recently celebrated his 30th transplant anniversary. He's in good health and is shown here surrounded by his friends and family. I don't know if I could use the pointer, but with a cake wishing him a happy 29th lungiversary, which I don't know if that's a word or not, but it's on the cake. He's also featured here on the left on a local news story which he thanked the entire team while he was visiting the ICU nurse who first cared for him during his transplant 30 years ago. Our mission as healers transforms borders, transcends boundaries, transcends differences. The International Society for Heart and Lung Transplantation was founded on the principles that healthcare is a universal right. We firmly believe that every individual, regardless of race, religion, or nationality, deserves access to the best medical care available. As we navigate these challenging times, we must reaffirm our unwavering commitment to the core values that define our society: compassion, equity, cooperation, and the pursuit of healing. ISHLT commends and stands in support of the multidisciplinary care teams who are working tirelessly in areas of conflict to deliver the best care to the most vulnerable patients, including those with advanced heart and lung diseases. These heroes embody the core of who we are and continue to be a beacon of hope, healing, and compassion. Last year, Andreas wished that I would drown in new ideas. He wished to make mine, the board of directors, the oversight committees, the IDNs, and the professional community's lives as hard as possible in selecting the best proposals for future development. I ask you to carry this tradition forward. This is not a top-down society, it is a bottom-up society. Please get involved and drown us in new ideas. Send your ideas to the chair of your professional community or interdisciplinary network steering committee. They are all listed on our website. Please get involved. There are more than 3,400 of us at this meeting, and Greg, I think you told me it's going to hit 3,500 by mid-afternoon. This is a record for meetings held outside of the United States. This may be your first ISHLT meeting. If so, welcome. Let's put our passion and creativity to work to make a better life for patients with advanced heart and lung diseases. It has been an honor to serve as president this past year. Thank you all for your attention. Have fun and enjoy the meeting.